have you. Okay, great. Hello, I'm Representative Warden, and I've worked with John Burt here in the State House for 3 years. I can tell you he is as solid as they come in protecting property rights and pushing back against big government and supporting the people of New Hampshire. He will do the same for the town of Goffstown. John is very principled. He doesn't back down from intimidation or negative tactics from the opposition, from those who want to expand the scope and reach and cost of government. John is a steadfast fiscal conservative. He demands accountability and transparency at every level of government, every agency, every department, every budget line item. We need somebody with John's courage and convictions to stand up to the organized special interests who have gotten away with so much spending for so long. John Burt's a strong defender of individual liberty. He will work to protect your personal property rights. He will stop the onslaught of regulations and restrictions on how you can use your own property or manage your business. He is not satisfied with taxes going up a little bit each year. Rather, he's going to make sure to go the other direction. He wants to reduce town spending. He wants to reduce town spending and lower your tax burden. Indeed, it gives me great pleasure and it's an honor to endorse for Town Selectman, Mr. John Burt.
And Alice Cuchetti, if I say that right.
That's okay. Say it any way you want.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever said it wrong.
You are not. My name is Alice Cuchetti. I've been a resident in Goffstown for 26 years. And I love this town. And I have met a gentleman in the past 8 months or so who loves it at least as much as I do. And that's why I'm here today to talk to you about the gentleman I met in the process of going through Plan Pinardville. He treated the residents of Pinardville and their concerns with respect and openness. He guided us through a process that we perhaps would not on our own been able to transpire. So he gave me a really clear sense that he's a man that I can trust. He's a man that cares about the people of Goffstown, the entire town, not just Pinardville. The tax base of this community, our citizens are in a situation just like the rest of the country that are laboring with lower incomes, lower means of supporting their families, or whether they've lost their jobs, have gone to part-time jobs, the increase in buying things and all of that. But our town doesn't seem to get that we're broke. We need to have the town, we have to have representatives in the town that will work with the people. We know it costs money to run a town. We also know they need to understand that it costs money to run a household. We're tightening our belts. All we're asking is to have people on our selectmen board to tighten their belts, to encourage the school board and the fire department and the police department to slow it down. That's all we ask. And I truly believe that John Burt is going to be the voice for the people of Goffstown and his people of Pinardville, for our children and our future. And I hope that he will run for selectman.
Thank you, Alice. Well, I really can't thank all of you for coming, and thank you, Mark and Alice, for the very kind words. I have a few notes here that I want to follow to keep me on track. I have a few notes that I want to keep on track here. And there's a few quotes from Ronald Reagan. And I'll tell you, boy, do we need a Ronald Reagan right now. And we definitely need a Ronald Reagan in 16. I mean, these people that they keep presenting is not going to do it.
We need John Burt.
Well, someday. But I want to say what the first quote, Ronald Reagan. The problem is not that people are taxed too little. The problem is that government spends too much. And that's Ronald Reagan said that. I agree with that. Alice mentioned the school. A lot of people have asked me to run for school board because really 2/3 of our budget is with the school. That is true. So the town is only 1/3. But what I look at, this building behind me, they'll only spend 1/3 of our money, which is a lot. But what they can do is take our freedoms away. That is what I don't want. They can tie us up into government programs that will indebt us forever. And that is why I'm here today. As Ronald Reagan said, if we lose freedom here, there is no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And it is true. That's why I stand before you. It is about the monetary and the big government programs that they want, but it is also the freedoms that they're taking from us. The property rights with every regulation they have. I really like this particular quote. In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. You know, how could Ronald Reagan know so much about this? I mean, it's common sense, but it really is true. Government is the problem. The people that sit behind these doors think every time we have a small problem that if we add one more regulation, that it will fix it. It doesn't. It just makes it worse. And before you know it, we have no freedoms left. I look at our current and past selectmen. They voted in this Plan Pinardville, which was really bad for the town. We don't need it. They shouldn't have signed up for it. Many towns read the grant and said, whoa, we're out of here. They didn't even take the grant. The people of Goffstown rallied together and we killed Plan Pinardville. Now, there is still some segments of it still floating around, and we're going to do our best to kill that. Now, the problem is our current selectmen, they signed us up for this Ready, Set, Go program. It's the same thing from the same people. It's government overreach that we don't need. It is to put our real estate on a world market. We don't need that. We have good boards, local boards that we elect. That is the key. We elect these people on our boards. We can tell them, look, this is what we want and we don't want. But with these unelected boards from the New Hampshire Southern Planning Commission and other places like that that send out the Ready, Set, Go programs, that is our problem. That is what we need to stop. We must stop these overreaching government programs. Now I want to talk a little bit about our current selectmen. Their mission is to bring business. You know what? I commend them for any effort that they do. Now with this government program they want to bring in, that's the wrong solution. I'll tell you an easy solution to bring business to Goffstown. But first I want to explain Bedford is 35 to 37% business-based tax. Manchester, 40%. That's huge. Goffstown, 7%. And I think that's a generous number because I think they're counting the real estate that's empty. And we have a lot of buildings empty. So I think if you really look at the real numbers of the business here, it's a lot less than 7%. But there's only a few things that we have to do, and it doesn't require government to intervene. and I'll show you what it is.
Yeah.
That's it. That is the solution right here. We call our private and public, or not public, but our capitalist real estate agents, if that's the correct word. We contact them and we say, look, we're open for business. And you know what? The private real estate businesses, they'll bring businesses. But we have to fix one thing, and that's our boards. All of you out there, every one of you have the right to elect and unelect people that sit on our boards. This Ready, Set, Go program, we have no control. We can't unelect them. We can't tell them, no, we're not going to do this. Once we sign on to this, we're stuck. They say we're not, but we are. It's unelectable boards. Local level is what I want. Our current planning and zoning board, we can unelect the anti-business people. They say they're not, but let's talk for the last 20 years. How did we get to 7% and everybody else around us is at 35 to 40%? It is the anti-business agenda that's going on in Goffstown. So what we need to do is we need to stop that. We need to remove some people off these boards that are very anti-business. Elect pro-business people and go and tell the private real estate people that we are open for business. And that is how we do it. The other thing we do too is we have mainstream, like Manchester and Bedford do. They have, if a business comes to them, it's mainstream, boom, within weeks, they're open. Here, they gotta go to a bunch of offices in here, they gotta fill out a lot of forms, and they have to go, may I? And one thing that really irks me is our current people that run this to bring businesses here, they're concerned about signs. If somebody wants a 26-inch sign but regulation says 24-inch, they're going to argue, oh, we can't have that. I say, you know what? It's 26 inches. Give them the damn sign. Sign the paper. Get the business here. The other thing that irks me is they're concerned about the color of the signs. I've seen this on zoning boards. Oh, well, you're going to put your flowers here and your sign here? Well, no, we know how to run our business, so if we put it here and here, we can draw more business. Oh, well, yes, but it really doesn't go with the main street and all these other programs that we want here. And I'm going, no. If you want business, fix that regulations, have mainstream, zip in, zip out the door, your business is open. Tell the real estate agencies around here that we're open for business, and that's how we do it. I also want to thank you, and again, I really do thank you for allowing me to be here. Because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. I've been your state representative for the last 3 years. And it's only because of you. You guys have allowed me to do that. And if you elect me as your next selectman for the town of Goffstown, I will bring that experience from the state, which is very important because I know what's coming down from the state. I know the regulations that they're imposing on us up there. I will bring that knowledge, and I'll also bring my business knowledge. I have been in business almost my whole life, self-employed. I love doing it. I encourage everybody to do it. It's a lot of work, but it teaches you so much. I believe that government of the people is the only way to live our lives. And America today is not living up to that. They're not living up to what our forefathers asked of us. We have too much government regulations. Our forefathers said, no, we're not going to have that. That's why we have the Constitution. And there's a lot of people, especially at the State House, oh, we'll let the courts worry about the Constitution. No, we're supposed to worry about the Constitution. And that's why I asked for your vote. And this is what you're going to see come around the town in the next months.
On my lawn.
On my lawn.
Now the last quote, and I'm going to wrap it up. Ronald Reagan said, "Man is not free unless government is limited." Well, I'll tell you right now, you elect John Burt as your next selectman, and you're going to see this building behind me. They're not going to be too happy because I'm going to limit government.
Take it up.
I will definitely need all of your help to bring Goffstown back to the people, and that's where it should be. I'm not going to do this on my own. I can't. You know, I'm going to go knock on doors, I'm going to hold my sign, and I'm going to get sign locations, but every one of you here have to talk to your neighbors. You're going to have to help me with lit drops and everything else. And anybody that's watching this on TV or anywhere on the videos, that we have to have help to get this message out. We can do it. And again, I want to thank everybody for coming here. I'll take questions. And I just want to say thank you again. I'm just overwhelmed with the support that I see. Thank you, and God bless America. The question was, what is the Ready, Set, Go program? From what I understand is it's to bring businesses to Goffstown, but it's from Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission. Well, that's the people that gave us Plan Pinardville. So right there, the red flags are up.
Federal government involved?
It's federal government. What it is, it's grants, which who pays grants? You and I. And that, you know, so we need to look at this, and I'm telling you, I don't see any good in it right now. We have private real estate agents that can do the same thing for, guess what? No money out of the taxpayers. So why are we going to pay tens of thousands of dollars in fees when they say, oh, this will cost nothing? Well, it doesn't cost nothing. It costs us taxpayers a lot of money. So we're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on this Ready, Set, Go program when we can have the private real estate agencies do it for us. We just got to loosen up the restraints on Goffstown. Manchester and Bedford did it, and you go over there and there's a crane sticking up in the air everywhere. They're building all the time.
Yeah, John, as a fiscal conservative, how will you be effective on the select board when you're going to be in a minority on almost every vote?
Well, thank you for that question. How I'm going to be effective is the voters are watching. And from what I understand, a lot of voters watch that selectmen's meeting now, especially after this Plan Pinardville incident. They're watching really close. I have one member that's definitely, I'm pretty sure, would be on my side, conservatively. There's another member I think is going to probably be with me 50% of the time. Where I really need the help after I get elected is in 2015 to give me some extra help. So then that way we can take control of the select board and say, look, this is what the people want. That's how we bring government back to the people, is we'll listen to them.
John, once you're elected, can you see you have the ability to increase transparency and to force our esteemed leaders to be open about grants that they're applying for and allow the public to have input before they vote?
Yes, I really like that question. What it was is, if you didn't hear it, it's about grants and transparency, if we're going to bring more transparency. I just learned a new word on my TV show the other day. I had Jan Cormier on. She said, when you request the grant, make sure you also request any accompanying documents. Because when you request under 91A, the right to know law, about the grant, they'll give you the grant. That's it. That's a trick that they're doing. Well, this is a new word. You have to add it on there, all accompanied documents. So that means any side notes come with it. And what I'm going to do is, if I get elected, I'm going to see what I can do to make sure that the second the grant comes into play, that it goes on the public docket. We have to make it transparency. Because what's happening now is there's a lot of grants that are in play. We don't know nothing about it. All of a sudden, on a Tuesday, or Thursday, we open the newspaper. Oh, next Tuesday, there's a grant hearing. Well, at that point, it's already in play. It's almost too late. It's really hard to kill it at that time. So I'm going to make sure, the best of my ability that I can when you elect me, that I'm going to try to get those grants brought out front. Just like that, real quick.
Instead of just seeing the carrot, see the hand too?
Yes.
So, I love that you're going to do this. Are we going to lose you in Concord as our overall representative?
No. I'm going to do at least, thank you for that question, Kevin. I'm going to do at least one more term, 2014, I will rerun as state representative. Because what I think is it will give me that connection with the state, and it will allow me to be the best selectman that I can be. Because I'll understand the knowledge that's coming down and the information that the state is sending. You know, at some point, probably at 16, I may not look at running, but, you know, because at some point I've got to go back to the real world.
This is the real world, John.
Well, it is, but you know, being a state rep, making $100 a year.
I know.
You know,
That's not the
What do you do with all that money?
well, that's,
He pays his taxes on it.
yes, yeah,
For a day.
For a day.
yeah. Any other questions? And if not, I'll be staying after. And yep.
Well, I don't have a question. I have a statement I'd
Okay.
like to just make. You know, so many times we support people, we sent them to Washington, trusting that they had our best interest at heart, only to have them go off and forget who sent them there
Yep.
and who they answer to.
Yes.
I put my trust in John Burt. If you don't, you let me down.
I won't let you down. I've proven that many times. All right. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate everybody coming, and God bless everyone.